For years, many people assumed that older single men were lonely, that they were waiting for the right woman, that they secretly wished they could start over. But something has changed. Across the world, more senior men are choosing to remain single, not because they can't find companionship, but because they have discovered something they value more: peace. And for the first time, in the year 2026, many people are finally beginning to understand why. Society has long operated under the assumption that a man's ultimate goal, regardless of his age, is to secure a romantic partner. The cultural narrative dictated that an older man without a woman was a tragedy, a man who had somehow lost the game of life. But as we navigate the complexities of the modern era, a massive psychological paradigm shift has occurred within the mature masculine mind. A silent revolution has taken place. Senior men have stepped off the endless treadmill of romantic pursuit, and society is struggling to process the reality of their absence. Today, we are going to explore the psychology of this cultural shift. We will dissect the 6 profound reasons why senior men are actively choosing solitude, and what the rest of the world is finally waking up to. This is not a story of surrender. It is a story of ultimate self-realization. Let us uncover the truth. Point number 1. It was not a heartbreak decision. One of the biggest, most pervasive misconceptions in modern dating psychology is that older men stay single because they are bitter. Women, and society at large, often assume that a single senior man is nursing a broken heart, that he has been traumatized by a past divorce, and his solitude is merely a defensive reaction built on fear. The reality is often very, very different. Most senior men have already experienced the full spectrum of relationships: marriage, parenthood, sacrifice, responsibility. They are not speaking from theory or naive cynicism. They are speaking from decades of empirical, lived experience. They have survived the intoxicating highs of the honeymoon phase, the grueling negotiations of domestic life, and the heavy burden of being a provider. After decades of learning, many conclude that entering a relationship should tangibly, mathematically improve their life, not complicate it. For the mature man, staying single is not an emotional, knee-jerk reaction to a bad breakup. It is a highly conscious, deeply rational choice. He has analyzed the modern dating market. He has weighed the immense psychological cost of merging his life with another person against the flawless tranquility of his current existence. He hasn't given up on love. He has simply graduated from the need to chase it. Point number 2. Retirement fundamentally changed their priorities. We must address the stark mathematical reality of human mortality. A younger man operates under the dangerous psychological illusion of infinite time. If he makes a mistake, if he enters a toxic relationship, or if he wastes 5 years trying to fix a broken partner, he believes he has decades left to recover. A senior man understands that time is his most precious, rapidly depleting currency. Every year matters, every season matters, every peaceful morning matters. When a man retires, he enters the final, most sovereign chapter of his existence. That intense temporal awareness makes older men extremely selective about who enters their lives. Consider a practical example. A senior man is approached by a woman who thrives on drama, who plays hard to get, or who expects to be chased. In his 20s, he might have found this exciting. In his 60s, he views it as an insulting waste of his remaining lifespan, because they know that protecting peace is often infinitely more important than chasing excitement. Women are finally realizing that an older man's time is a VIP lounge, and he is the bouncer. He simply refuses to let drama cross the velvet rope. Point number 3. They learned the brutal difference between company and companionship. Age teaches an incredibly important, often painful psychological lesson. Being physically around someone is not the same as feeling emotionally supported by them. Many senior men have spent years, sometimes decades, in marriages or relationships where they felt agonizingly lonely despite not being alone. They know what it feels like to share a bed with someone who does not respect them. They know what it feels like to be a financial utility, an emotional sponge, or a silent background character in their own home. That excruciating experience permanently changes how they view companionship. They stop seeking company for its own sake. They realize that having a warm body in the house to stave off the silence is a terrible trade if that person brings constant criticism, entitlement, or negativity. Instead, they seek genuine connection, They require a partner who brings mutual respect, intellectual depth, and absolute peace. And if they cannot find a woman who meets this uncompromising standard, they are perfectly, delightfully comfortable remaining single. Women in 2026 are realizing that they are no longer competing against other women for a senior man's attention. They are competing against his profound love for his own solitude. Point number 4. They no longer see being single as a failure. Society spent decades brainwashing men into believing that success meant finding a partner. From a very young age, a man is conditioned to believe that he is only half of a soul. He is taught that if he does not get married, build a family, and follow a specific heavily curated path, he is defective. But many senior men eventually undergo a process that Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung called individuation, the integration of the true self and the rejection of the societal mask. They realize something incredibly important. Being single is not a failure, and a bad relationship is certainly not a success. What matters above all else is the absolute quality of a man's life. If a man has secured his peace, discovered his purpose, maintained good health, nurtured meaningful friendships, and achieved financial stability, he looks around and realizes a magnificent truth. He already has everything he truly needs. He removes the stigma of the bachelor. He stops apologizing for his lifestyle. Women are observing this and realizing that the traditional shaming tactics, calling a single older man weird or lonely, no longer work. He is immune to societal shame because his reality is vastly superior to the fiction they are trying to sell him. Point number 5. Perhaps the biggest reason some senior men remain single is surprisingly simple. They finally feel free. For the vast majority of their lives, men are bound by the chains of utility. They are expected to be the emotional rock, the financial ATM, the problem solver, and the uncomplaining pack mule of society. But when a man reaches his senior years and chooses solitude, he drops the armor. He is free from expectations. He is free from pressure. He is free from constantly proving his worth to a romantic partner. He is free from chasing the approval of a society that never truly cared about him anyway. For decades, they lived according to obligations. Now, they live strictly according to choice. If he wishes to eat cereal for dinner, he does. If he wishes to spend his savings restoring a vintage car, he does. If he wishes to sit in absolute silence for 4 hours, he does. And that uncompromising, unapologetic freedom becomes one of the most valuable, intoxicating things they possess. To ask a man to surrender this freedom for the sake of a mediocre relationship is an insult to his intelligence. Point number 6. What women are finally realizing in 2026. For the last decade, the dating market has been defined by chaos, endless options, and a rapid decline in mutual respect. But as we stand in the year 2026, a cultural awakening is taking place. What many people, especially women, are beginning to deeply understand is that these senior men are not withdrawing from life. They are withdrawing from unnecessary stress. They are not rejecting companionship. They are rejecting imbalance. They are not rejecting love. They are rejecting relationships that cost more mentally, physically, and financially than they give. Women are realizing that the old tactics no longer apply. You cannot manipulate a sovereign man with the threat of leaving because he is already perfectly content on his own. You cannot impress him solely with aesthetics because he is looking for character, loyalty, and peace. And perhaps the most surprising paradigm-shifting realization of all is this. The modern senior man is no longer looking for someone to rescue him from loneliness. He has already conquered his demons. He has already learned how to masterfully enjoy his own company. He is a king who has secured his borders. He is only willing to make room for someone who brings their own peace, their own respect, and who adds genuine, undeniable value to the beautiful life he has already built. To the society that once judged him, the solitary older man is no longer a mystery. He is an inspiration. He is the living embodiment of self-respect. He has learned the hardest, most vital lesson of the human experience, that a man cannot truly love his life until he learns to love his own company. If you are a man who has chosen the path of peace, know that you are not broken. You are the architect of your own freedom. I want to hear from you. Head down to the comments and tell me, at what age did you realize that your peace was more valuable than a relationship? And what is the greatest freedom you have discovered in your solitude? Your wisdom and your scars will help guide the men who are still fighting blindly through the storm. If you found value in this deep dive into male psychology, please hit the like button, subscribe to the Sage Academy channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Thank you for watching. Until next time, guard your sanctuary and enjoy your peace.